This is Taronga Zoo. 340 species and 3,400 animals call this land their home. And it's here that over 120 keepers and vets dedicate their lives to keeping those animals healthy and thriving. With innovative cameras and unprecedented access.
Because in the wild.
Oh, here we go. Yep, it's out.
It's a bit of a tearjerker, actually.
Explore the world of a zoo across the globe.
There's no much time for the gorilla. We will leave France tomorrow morning.
He won't come back. It's a one-way trip.
It is a big journey.
And experience it all from a whole new angle.
And then we've got 5 days at sea.
Tonight on Wildlife at the Zoo.
Chimps are capable of incredible violence. Put your arm through a bar, they could just pull your arm right off. They could bite it off. And they're also capable of incredible tenderness and empathy with other chimps.
The most dangerous, intelligent and highly political animals at Taronga Zoo are on the move to a new sanctuary.
They don't cope well with change. I think the boys will be absolutely scared out of their minds.
But it's an uphill battle for keepers to get them there. As the move enters its most critical stage, a tragedy threatens to overwhelm this extraordinary event.
Code 1, there's a chimp out.
Plans for the entire group of 18 chimpanzees to leave their current home for a new sanctuary 10 times the size are well underway.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, boy.
With only days to go, the primate team has each part of the move expertly planned.
So what we're doing now is going through those final stages of preparation for the move, and that's where we start to look at each individual chimpanzee, how we're going to move them to the exhibit, plan their health check, anaesthetisation process, all the way down to our small infants and how we're going to get those guys to the exhibit as well. So it's a lot of work, but we're very excited. This is actually where the chimpanzees have been living now for almost 2 years. We're hoping that we can move them all within about a week and a half.
Moving 18 chimps is a huge task and fraught with potential problems.
Each one will be separated, anaesthetised, and then carried out by a couple of staff and laid on this stretcher, wrapped up nice and tightly for security in the rope, and then actually escorted into our VQC vehicle and taken up to the new facility.
The chimps will then be examined in their new night house.
So here is actually where the health checks will take place. Each individual chimp will be looked after by a vet and a vet nurse, and once that's completed, then they'll be transferred to the anaesthetic area. The day that we start, I think there'll be excitement from the chimps, probably also a little bit of nervousness from them. I think there'll be a little bit of, wow, oh my God, this is new. There's so many things to do here, and we're so looking forward to exploring our new home. I think the boys will be absolutely scared out of their minds. They don't cope well with change, but the older females will be confident and they'll get out there and explore.
The new sanctuary has attracted the attention of international chimpanzee expert Dr. Jane Goodall, who's been studying wild chimpanzees in Africa for over 51 years.
This new enclosure here is definitely up with the very, very best. I'm sure if I was a chimp, then I'd choose this rather than the very unpredictable situation in many wild places.
Everything here has been designed so the chimp community can thrive.
The really good things are the height of the climbing structures and platforms, because chimpanzees in the wild spend a lot of time high up in the trees. And so to be able to climb high and have a good view and feel the breeze in the hair and rest in the sunshine up on a high platform, that'll be very important for them.
The move can't happen quickly enough because tensions are rising in the chimps' current home.
In this group, there are 3 adult males. Very often, zoo groups don't have more than 1 adult male, and there are young males coming up, and it'll be fascinating to see what happens, because there will be challenges, there will be changing of position that could lead to very serious aggression. I'm absolutely sure that the chimpanzees know something's happening.
Senior keeper Alan Schmidt knows each chimp by sight and sound, and he's come by to see if there's any signs of trouble.
Our chimpanzee group is a community, and it's made up of 6 different families, and there's a complex political social hierarchy amongst this community. It's something that us as keepers have been observing for a long, long time.
And recently there's been an outbreak of violence amongst the males.
A move like this can unsettle the stability of the political situation. So, for instance, the first 2 that are going to go are going to be 2 of our adult males.
Currently, the alpha or senior male is 18-year-old Labutu, the most powerful and potentially most dangerous.
Because of his personality, he's a fairly much an easygoing guy. He's very tolerant. He's not overly assertive or aggressive, and so that's basically how he has retained his position. The alpha male pretty much dominates all individuals, so they keep the community together. So that's their very important function.
Labutu's made an alliance with a loner male, 16-year-old Chimbuka, who's had a tough time since he was orphaned 11 years ago.
He's had a hard life, ever since he lost his maternal support. He's had to struggle to maintain his position and make his way in the world.
Threatening to topple the Labutu-Chimbuka alliance are the S-Boys, 2 rampaging teenage brothers.
Shabani's very physically powerful and intimidating. And the biggest thing that he has going for him is the fact that he has a 10-year-old brother. Samaki is now a 10-year-old male chimpanzee, is right at that point where they're starting to realise that they have all this incredible physical power themselves.
Keepers believe the move could make things worse. The S-Boys are at the peak of their physical power.
Well, chimps are very much stronger than us. A lot of people always say they're 5 to 6 times the strength of an average human male. They are the most dangerous animals in a zoo. Put your arm through a bar, they could just pull your arm right off. They could bite it off.
Three days before the move, primate supervisor Lou arrives to find some of the keepers' worst fears realised. This morning, there's been more violence amongst the group.
His left foot, they sliced up pretty bad.
The zoo's senior vet, Larry Vogelnest, is called in to check the wounds.
They're all a little bit, I think, unsettled, and as a result, that nervousness and that, I guess, unpredictable behaviour feeds on through the group, and so everyone was pretty much having a go at everybody this morning.
The S-Boys, Samaki and Shabani, have attacked the alpha male Labutu and his supporters.
Most of them have suffered some laceration of some sort.
Labutu's primary ally, Chimbuka, can barely move after his attack.
So you let them out, obviously.
No, there was just so much fighting in here.
Even Labutu's 60-year-old arthritic grandmother Lulu has been bashed.
They're all just at it at the moment, onto their money at the moment.
Time to get them out of here. It's an indication that really we need to move them out of here into their new renovated facility where there's a lot more sort of room, a lot more opportunities for them to get away from each other and a lot more things for them to do, and distract them from having to take it out on each other.
With the males still causing havoc, primate supervisor Lou is doing what she can to calm them down before the move.
What I'm actually doing is getting the morning medications ready for the chimps, and that includes for the boys. They're on Serenase at the moment, which is a relaxant. Things are pretty tense in the group. Shabani and Samaki are challenging status quo. Chimps are genetically almost like us, so as a result we can use a lot of things like Celebrex, which is a human medication used for arthritis, and Serenase, which is a relaxant that humans use as well, and all these things we can use in managing the chimp group. So the chimps are quite food motivated, and bread is I guess a favoured food, and so it's quite easy for us to make up the medication in a little Vegemite or honey or jam sandwich and hand it out to them, so it's a good bit of bribery. So this is for Lulu. Lulu is the oldest member of our group. She's almost 60 and she does have arthritis and she has a little trouble getting around. So the Celebrex and the Cosequin work very effectively in helping her to do that. So we just make her a nice little sandwich like that.
Lou administers the medicine in the night area, where the males have been separated from each other into family groups.
Lulu Bell. Hi, Lulu Bell. It's a very emotionally demanding time for all of us and a challenging time. So, and I think there's probably stress levels in both the chimp group and the human population as well.
The S-boys get their medicine next.
I think it has more of an effect on Shabani than it does Samaki, but we're hoping that it sort of helps take the edge off and helps to keep them calm. A bit like, you know, humans take Rescue Remedy or Bax Flower or something like that.
As keepers try to put a lid on the aggression in the chimps' temporary quarters, at their new night house, the team are putting the finishing touches on some new features.
The chimps will swing these tyres around. Now, to me, that's pretty heavy, and you know, it's hard work to swing that around. But they will swing that, and that will bounce from one side of the roof to the other. So
everything we do for the chimps, whether it's when we're creating the exhibit or when we're doing inside, it's not just about how it looks for everybody, it's about how functional it is for the animals. So in the night dens, we've put lots of rope in lots of different directions to create a lot of complexity for the animals. In the wild, they have lots of trees and lots of things to hang on to and move around, help them propel themselves.
Can't wait to see them. Richard's swinging on here, so it's going to be, Richard's going to have a test.
the chimps at night in the wild sleep up high as they can. So we're sleeping here. Obviously, again, we've made these strong enough to be able to hold the chimps, but also whatever treatment they give it as well and testing.
We'll probably have to tweak a little bit, but it'll be good for us to see what they actually use and what they don't use. So this is just to get them started and the final stages. So it's so close.
At Taronga Zoo, it's a huge day. After 2 years of planning, the chimp move is about to begin. Senior vet Larry Vogelnest is taking no chances. He's in charge of a 20-strong team who will anaesthetise the chimps one by one.
We can't just take them out of their enclosure and walk them across the zoo, and there are so many reasons. I mean, they're dangerous, obviously. They would be so scared, in fact, if we even tried to, and of course a great risk to people. So we have to have them fully unconscious. In order to do that, we have to fire a little dart into them. So the little gun we use, it's not a particularly complicated bit of equipment, just uses compressed CO2 to propel the dart. This is a laser sight here on the pistol, so that allows us to pretty much know where the dart's going to hit the animal, and that's an advantage as well, obviously. The other interesting thing sometimes it works is that the chimp will see the red dot on their skin and it distracts them momentarily, and then when you're ready, just boom.
Yeah, hi, so we're just letting you know that we're about to commence the chimp move, so all people involved are going to turn to channel 3. Thank you.
Of course, this is an opportunity for us to give them a full check over, vaccinate them, take blood samples.
You're doing Labutu?
I'm doing Labutu.
You know what he means to me, don't you, Francis?
Yep.
Right.
After his attack from the two teenage brothers, Labutu will be moved first to help him maintain his alpha position.
As much as we possibly can, we want to facilitate Labutu's position at the top of, the coalition of males. So by taking him first, we basically are giving him most time to get comfortable and gain confidence in the new area.
In an ideal world, I'd like to see them all move back nicely and, Labutu remains the alpha male and continues to lead that community.
I picked up the gun feeling a little bit nervous, as always, whenever we have to go and dart a chimp. So Labutu's in the far den, and what I'm going to do is just go over towards him quietly. I'll keep the gun by my side to begin with, hoping that he's not going to see it. He's up at the back of the den and he's seen me and he knows straight away what's happening. I've got to wait until he settles a bit so that I can get a clean shot.
The anaesthetic on the dart is designed to knock Labutu out for at least 45 minutes so he can be moved to the new sanctuary.
So I'm going to take this shot. And that dart's gone in, but he's pulled it out straight away, so he's flicked it out onto the floor. Can't really see whether it's gone off or not. I really need to know, I know that I've hit him fair and square. He's thrown paper on it now as well, so I really can't see. So it's really hard to see. Yeah. Like I've got him in the leg, but then the dart's come out straight away, covered in paper, and it's too far away to see if it's gone off or not.
Labutu's drowsy, but he's not fully sedated. Francis will have to give him another dart.
The reason we're using this drug combination is because we can give them a little injection at the end of the procedure that will wake them up, and which is what we want, because we want to get them integrated back with the other chimps as soon as possible. There's certainly potential for things to go wrong. Probably the thing that worries us more than anything else is the chimp waking up. The chances, I think, of them actually being able to wake up so much and stay awake enough to be dangerous is extremely low. Nevertheless, to have a chimp suddenly sit up and then fall asleep again it'd be a terrible thing. Thankfully, it hasn't happened to me, but there is potential for that.
Yeah, he's been affected by it.
There's a possibility a chimp could die. Animals can die under anaesthesia for various reasons.
Keepers believe it's now safe to enter the den. After 15 minutes, Labutu's fallen unconscious, but there's still a chance he could wake at any moment and, powered by a surge of adrenaline, become extremely dangerous.
Can you just head up to Chimps for me and just give me a hand when Labutu gets there, just for lifting?
An adult male has 5 to 6 times the strength of a human. As a precaution against his waking, Labutu's arms and legs are manacled to the stretcher. He's also covered with a thick net for the 300-metre journey across the zoo to his new home.
VQC van's on its way back.
So we've just got Labutu into the chimp house now. We're going to put him onto the table here, and then the first thing I'm going to do is get him stabilised on the machine. So as part of his routine health examination, we do a suite of tests which includes getting blood, and we look at a variety of different things in the blood, and he'll also have a skin test as part of a standard screening process for TB. And we also do a thorough physical exam just to assess his general health.
So far, so good. The move's going to schedule. Back at the chimp's temporary home, Labutu's #1 male ally is next to be darted.
So Chimbuka's one of the big males as well in the group. He seems to have copped a lot of flack from some of the other males, and we have been a little bit concerned about his health, actually. So all the others are going to get a thorough checkup, but we're going to actually take him to the hospital and take some x-rays and things like that, and just make sure that everything's okay. Guys, are we ready to go? What I'm going to do now is just wait until Chimbuka's in a good position for darting. It's really important to try and get them in a good muscle group, either in the upper arm or in the thigh.
It takes 10 minutes for Chimbuka to fall unconscious.
That time period from knocking them out, moving them to the van, while they're in the van, getting them to the table where we're doing the procedure in the chimp house is the riskier part of the procedure.
Chimbuka's been moved now to avoid further violence amongst the group.
We wanted Chimbuka to go because we want Chimbuka and Labutu to have more time to build on their relationship, basically reinforce their bonds, and so, sort of be prepared for the arrival of the other 2 males.
Although Chimbuka was relatively compliant, Larry can't be precisely sure how much anaesthetic the dart released. So Chimbuka's closely monitored on his journey to the vet hospital.
Oxygen to start with, inside.
While Chimbuka is being prepared to go under his general anaesthetic, at the new chimp house, Labutu's health check is going well.
Labutu looks pretty good. I'll give him an injection that's a reversal agent, and what that is going to do is to counteract the anaesthetic drug that I've given him earlier in the dart. So I would expect within the next 15 or 20 minutes that he's going to start coming round, and often they come round quite quickly.
When Labutu wakes, his grandmother will be there to reassure him through those anxious first hours.
I'll just wait until Elle comes in.
60-year-old Lulu is simply too old to be anaesthetised, so she'll be the only one put in a crate and lifted fully conscious to the new sanctuary by forklift.
So that's ready for Lulu now to go into.
Lulu Bell! We're going to be ready to move Lulu in about 5 or 10 minutes.
She's a very sweet, older lady, very pleasant and gentle most of the time, so she's our sweetheart. Good girl.
All right, she's coming out. Here she goes, sweetie.
Good girl, Lulu.
Lulu's the only chimp here who was once raised as a pet. She's very comfortable with humans and needs no prompting to find her way down to the crate.
Come on, Lulu Bell. Lulu had an incredible life history. Wild caught, hand raised, moved around to different roadside circuses or roadside zoos, ended up in a zoo in the United States when, of course, she became unmanageable, which is pretty much the norm for chimpanzees that are hand raised in households.
Come on, sweetheart. Best chimp in the world. Come on, sweetheart.
Come on.
Come on. Come on.
She loves it, you know. We just open the slides for her, and because she knows there's something happening, and she knows that we need for her to go in the crate, she's very obliging. She knows we're going to look after her, and she knows that her family will be there soon.
Everything.
She's not like the others. She's got varied life experience, so that comes into play here. She's not as nervous. She's happy to get in there and do what we need her to do. She's just looking at the next adventure.
At the vet hospital, Larry's about to check over Chimbuka, the chimp who's been bullied by the teenage males.
So Ash just recorded, so his left upper canine tooth is just the tip of it's chipped. But apart from that, his teeth are good. I'll settle down.
But Chimbuka's resisting Larry's attempts to insert a tube to assist his respiration while under anaesthetic.
Just get him on some...
So putting him on 2%
2%.
ISO.
So just... Okay, everyone out. Get out. Code 1, there's a chimp out. Gemma, where's the darting gear?
The emergency is occurring at BQC in the treatment room.
With Chimbuka off the operating table and unrestrained, the zoo goes on its highest level of emergency.
Code 1 in the room of the
Richard and Alan have to secure the chimps and rush the darting gear to the vet hospital. Although they practice for it, only a few people here have been through a Code 1 before. All visitors are evacuated to safe indoor areas as the emergency team descend on the zoo hospital.
Code 1 in progress to BQC. Just repeating, a code 1 in progress at BQC. All involved, please turn to channel 3.
Yeah, but Larry wants this stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, just go around.
Oh, well, they were basically taking him off the stretcher to put him on the gas on the, on the operating table, and he's just basically got up. He went deep when he was down at the Orang House, and maybe now the drug's worked its way through his system, and he's just come a bit light, but now he's gone deep again, so it'll just be a matter of Larry darting him again to give him a top up, and then we'll put him on the gas, and then he'll be stabilised on that.
Okay, get the pistol out.
I'm worried about him in the position that he is now because he's lying on his back with his head like that, so I'd rather it be in the recovery position. But like Larry's just getting ready now.
Okay, and quiet. Shh.
Chimbuka's darted at nearly point-blank range.
Okay, so let's get him on the table, guys. So one person on each foot, if possible.
So if you could get him up over the table and then
Okay. Yep. We're good. Yep. Yep, he's safe.
Chief Warden requires confirmation that you don't feel that there's a threat to visitors at this point. Sweet, no, there's no threat to visitors. Copy that, thank you.
Okay, let's have a look.
Okay, so yeah, don't worry about it.
Wow, wasn't that fun? My God, I've never ever had that happen, ever. Okay, can I have a light on a stick? Very large lymph nodes.
As Chimbuka's health check resumes, it soon becomes clear that he is seriously ill.
I think the main concern is that it looks like he's got multiple infections, and it's not just sort of wounds and that, it's a much deeper infection, I'd suspect, simply because he's got his large lymph nodes, his tonsils have got little abscesses on them, he's got enlarged lymph nodes around his groin as well. And so, you know, I just think that all indicates that he's got a more systemic problem, you know, a deeper infection. So he's lost quite a lot of condition, actually. He's 48.1, and that's really low. He should be around the 60 kilo mark. In fact, the last anaesthetic, he was 62 kilos. So I suppose in him particularly, if he's being picked on because he's unwell, it does probably add to him not being able to fight off the infection, so it's probably suppressing his immune system. Well, let's get some x-rays.
The prognosis for Chimbuka is not good. Until his test results are known, he'll be put on antibiotics and taken to the new chimp house to wake from the anaesthetic.
So Ben, I'll just grab one side. We'll just you don't go in. The key now is to continue keeping him on a course of medication, and he's usually quite good with taking medication, but we're going to have to make sure he gets it.
Next time, the fate of the chimp community hangs in the balance.
We've got the two teenage boys, they're very powerful, so together they're very scary and very dangerous.
As vets fight to save Chimbuka's life, Labutu and the S-boys battle it out to determine who's boss.
This won't stop until he's satisfied.
And as open warfare breaks out within the chimp community,
Who's going after who?
the door opens on their new life.